Two-year head coach Kenny Burns was relieved of his duties this morning after heavily underperforming at the Flashes. We give you the details of how this all came to be.
The latest about the escalating trade war between the United States and China and how China is reacting to the American tariffs.
There may be new ways to prevent using animals for drug testing according to the FDA. All this and more later as your KSTV Friday newscast.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Good Friday evening, Kent State and all of Portage County, and welcome to your KSTV News at 6 o'clock. I'm Joe Malbin.
And I'm Evan Schofield. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We start tonight with big news coming out of Kent State Athletics. Football head coach Kenny Burns has been fired. Burns, who was placed on administrative leave on March 27th, was the 23rd head coach of the football program. In the 2 seasons he had been head coach, Burns has had a record of 1 win and 23 losses. Offensive coordinator Mark Carney, who had been the interim head coach since Burns was placed on leave, he will fill the role for the 2025 season.
And new technology could soon be helping Kent Police as a 3-year, $126,000 contract will be approved by the City Council for 14 license plate readers across town. The readers take continuous snapshots of a driver's license plate, which they're uploaded into a database for officers to see. The technology captures the vehicle information, not the identity of the driver.
In the city of Akron, and the Ohio Erie Canalway Coalition broke ground yesterday working in the Summit Lake North Shore Park. The redevelopment cost around $7.5 million, which includes the addition of a boat launch, a pavilion, and many new trails. The current trail will be rerouted along South Street. This is the next phase of the Summit Lake Vision Plan that aims to create a comfortable environment for Summit citizens.
Well, we now bring back to the newscast one-time fill-in anchor and Kent State Visuals editor Matt Brown for our Reporter Roundup. Matt, good to see you. How have you been?
Good to be here. Doing pretty good, Can't complain.
Thanks for joining us this evening.
Happy to be here.
Well, Matt, we're happy to have you, and we want to know. Tell us a bit about some of the big stories from the past weeks. What have you been working on?
In the past couple of weeks, the Visuals teams had the opportunity to photograph when the IDF soldiers came to campus and the demonstrations around that. We got to send some people to Tim Walls when he went to Talking Youngstown, photographed that. And we've been able to do some great coverage of sports and just production on our newspaper.
Yeah, absolutely. Could you tell us a little bit more about the sports? What exactly have you covered?
We've got to cover a lot of baseball and softball this season. Not a ton of other sports. Those ones have been big ones this season. It's been fun to get out there again and actually shoot those sports, so it's been a great time.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we've got a newspaper coming up. Could you tell us anything that you guys have covered on the visual side for the newspaper? Anything big?
Yeah, we have a lot of great graphics work in the newspaper. Our graphics team always does a really good job of designing the paper, finding ways to make it look interesting and engaging. Good comics in there. We've got some photos from the Tim Walls event again. Some photos from the hands-off protest that over this weekend that was really cool. And yeah.
Cool. What anything in specific that has stood out to you as interesting or just great pieces of photography?
I think honestly, with the hands-off protest, the pictures we had that came out from that were really, really good. Some of the best work I've seen in a while was strong photography, strong moments, strong composition, all that fun stuff.
Yeah. And then for those interested, what's the difference between being a visual journalist versus being someone who's writing articles and reporting?
The biggest thing is you can't really phone in the photojournalism. You have to be on the ground, on site whenever you take pictures. And it's a challenge of trying to find interesting moments, always be paying attention to what's happening, what's going on, and then actually talking to the people, getting the information from the captions. That's always a bit difficult, but it's a big part of the job.
Sure. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Matt.
Be
sure to stay tuned next week for our next Reporter Roundup.
Soon, Ohioans will have to find a new snack to dip in their peanut butter as Walmart has recalled some of their celery sticks in over 20 states, including Ohio. People's concerns with the celery, it could be contaminated with Listeria monocytogenes, says the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. No illnesses have been reported at this time concerning the market-side brand of the celery sticks, says the FDA. And yet another recall has been reported as the cold and flu tablets brand Safe-Tocine was recalled after a risk of child poisoning was concluded. The CPSC says these were sold nationwide and under independent pharmacies. They were asked to only change the packaging to be child safe rather than the product itself. Consumers remain advised to keep the product out of sight and out of children's reach.
Your first forecast on Kent Stater TV.
I'm your weather anchor, Ryan Mead. Today we saw cloudy skies and some colder temperatures. Let's see what you can expect for the rest of the night and into your day tomorrow. So currently it is 40 degrees today, and it was a cloudy day with not too much going on. Sunset will actually be at 8:02 p.m. today, which for the rest of the month is going to be starting to get closer to the 9 p.m. mark. And it's been more of a relatively calm day compared to the past couple of weeks where we've been seeing this stormy weather. But as we go throughout the night, it's going to be the same weather, not a very good chance of any rain or anything like that. But as we get towards midnight, there's actually a little bit of a chance of some snow, but not too much, maybe some flurries. You wouldn't expect too much. I mean, it's mid-April. As we go throughout the day tomorrow, though, we can expect clouds throughout the day. It's going to be about the same as it was today, but maybe a little bit warmer. There's actually going to be a full moon tomorrow. There'll be colder temperatures, a little bit of light winds compared to the day we saw today. There might be some sun popping in throughout the day, nothing too out of the ordinary as it is mid-April. We can see a little bit of some wind there, but sunrise will be at 6:50 and then we can see as the colder temperatures throughout the day. But the clouds are going to be in the air throughout most of the day, so it'll be about the same what we saw today. But stay warm tonight, and into tomorrow's it's going to be cold. And that's all I have. And let's go back to the regular news with more updates.
Thank you, Ryan. Well, Cleveland police are currently looking for the drivers involved in fatally running a man over in the crosswalk. The man identified by Cuyahoga County medical examiner is 63-year-old Todd Howard. According to police, Howard was crossing the street when a car had a green light and hit him, and 3 more cars went on to hit the man while the final vehicle dragged him a distance. He was pronounced dead on the scene by EMS workers. And a woman in Alabama who was the third person to ever receive a pig kidney had it removed last week. We'll have the latest on this story and more in health.
The U.S. Secretary of Defense failed to show up physically in a meeting with the Ukraine Defense Contact Group. We tell you more about the prior meeting.
First, they said cigarettes were safe. We know how that turned out. Now, they say they didn't market e-cigarettes to teens. Fact, more than 1 in 4 high school students are vaping, and 80% say their first e-cigarette was flavored. Vaping is harmful to developing brains. The reason we think vaping is safe? Marketing. Same lies, different day. Tell Big Vape to quit lying.
I feel like her heartbeat is like same speed as mine, and I think we have this like deep connection, this heart connection in her heart, that there's room for me and mom. When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer. It's a sensory thing. It's a thing with Asperger's.
She's really good with Anya. I've seen adults react to my daughter when she has meltdowns like she's from a different planet. And this little animal just sat next to my child and was just like, you know, it's gonna be cool. She's my superhero.
Good job, Kitty Cat.
When we adopted Lucky, we discovered all the wonderful things that make her unique.
Lucky's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly she's pure love.
Hey, I'm worried about your parents. We need to show them how to spot phishing emails.
Agreed, the scammers are out of control.
Plus, help them add multi-factor authentication.
Yes, we use them if they're at work, and it's great. Software update? Done. Time to celebrate.
For more information on how to keep yourself and those you care about safe online, go to cisa.gov/secure-our-world.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Your community,
your stories.
Welcome back. The state of South Carolina was scheduled to have a firing squad ready to execute convicted murderer Mikal Mahdi. After killing a police officer in 2004, Mahdi chose the firing squad rather than electric chair or lethal injection. This will be the nation's second firing squad in 2 months in the same state after 15 years without one. The execution was scheduled to occur at 6 with a few dozen witnesses in attendance as he was strapped to a chair.
The latest on health starting here locally tonight. The Portage County Combined General Health District is already starting to feel the effect of President Trump's federal cuts. The health district has lost roughly $450,000. On top of that, they have also had to eliminate 3 contracts, one with a professional consulting group.
The FDA put out a statement in which animals may no longer need to be tested on with various drugs and antibodies. They claim there are better methods of testing such items, such as potentially using an AI-based computer simulation or human organoids. Until today's technology, lab testing was the best way to prove a drug safe. A 2022 bill passed by Congress allows the FDA to continue exploring ways to get treatments into customers' hands quicker.
And a woman in Alabama who lived for 130 days with a pig kidney had it removed last week. Tawana Looney was on dialysis for 9 years before becoming the 3rd person ever to receive a gene-edited pig's kidney. After months of stability, she had her transplanted kidney removed due to medical complications. She says she was grateful for the opportunity to be off dialysis and part of the ongoing research.
And on Monday, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services came to the conclusion that reconvened the Community Preventive Services Task Force, meaning they can study and recommend a new way to use fluoride. U.S. Secretary Robert F. Kennedy said he would soon tell the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to end the use of fluoride in drinking water. This comes despite loud objections from dental experts across the nation.
The Department of Health and Human Services has launched a massive research effort to investigate what they are calling the cause of the autism epidemic. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. hopes to find this by September.
We've launched a massive testing and research effort that's going to involve hundreds of scientists from around the world. By September, we will know what has caused the autism epidemic, and we'll be able to eliminate those exposures.
While no one definitively knows why autism rates have spiked in the past 25 years, many scientists say it is because of a broadening definition of the disorder. Experts are skeptical about Kennedy's research being done in good faith due to previous statements from him linking vaccines with autism.
New requirements have been added for private colleges that are a part of the Governor's Merit Scholarship Program. They must comply with Senate Bill 1, which is Ohio's big new law that applies to public and community colleges. If private schools fail to meet this requirement, the Merit Scholarship will be taken away by the state of Ohio. This serves as a way to influence private colleges that are immune to normal legislation.
President Donald Trump is challenging states' authority on setting their own climate policies. This comes after an executive order on Tuesday directing the Justice Department to challenge laws set by states on climate. The order was signed to stop the enforcement of laws that burden the use of domestic energy resources. Climate-focused state leaders are challenging this effort.
Keeping you informed and ahead of the storm, this is your KSTV weather.
So as of late, we've been seeing some colder temperatures for the majority of April. Let's take a look at this weekend ahead and see what we can get for the rest of the week. Currently in Ohio, it's about the same. It's about 45 degrees in the average. Actually, in Toledo, it's a little bit warmer, around 50, but for the most part, it's about the same. Towards us, it's around 40 degrees, but Cincinnati is around 46 degrees. Pittsburgh's at 43 degrees. Overall, about the same temperature throughout the area. And as we go a little bit closer towards us, you can see that it's going to be the exact same temperature, about the same area. Sandusky is actually a little bit warmer over here, but for the most part, it's going to be about the same. We're about 40 degrees right now. Cleveland's at around 44 degrees. For the most part, it's going to be about the same temperature throughout the area. However, for the extended forecast, though, as you can see for the weekend, Saturday is going to be a lot colder. It's going to be about the same as it was today. But Sunday will be about 60 degrees, which is going to be a little bit nicer. It's going to feel a little better. But Monday and Tuesday are going to be a little bit of a weather concern, as it's going to be a thunderstorm potentially on Monday night. Tuesday will have some off and on showers throughout the day. Wednesday is going to be a little bit more colder again. However, Thursday and for the rest of the next couple weeks, it's going to start warming up. And it's going to be a little bit more nicer weather as compared to what it's been. But Monday, I think we can expect a little bit of some of what we've been seeing the past couple weeks with these thunderstorms. So we'll have some warmer weather coming up, and we can expect to see some challenges that are going to occur from the thunderstorm. So we have some warmer temperatures later in the week, but make sure to stay warm this weekend. Now for the rest of your Friday newscast.
We go now to the latest on international coverage.
Starting with an escalation in the trade war with China, Alex Minch has the latest. Good evening, Alex.
Good evening, guys, and that's right. A lot is happening abroad right now, especially with the ramping up of the trade war between China and the U.S. Chinese leader Xi Jinping has given his thoughts on these back-and-forth tariffs between the two countries. Just after President Trump raised tariffs on China to over 145%, Jinping responded by saying his nation is not afraid and anything beyond 125% would be meaningless escalation. White House officials say Trump is waiting for Beijing to come to the table and break the impasse, but they have repeatedly refused. Earlier today, the Ukraine Defense Contact Group met in NATO HQ to discuss supporting Ukraine. However, there was a noticeable absence. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth was not present, but he did make a virtual appearance. At the same time, top Trump administration official Steve Witkoff met with Russian President Vladimir Putin to discuss Ukraine. According to Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov, a meeting between President Trump and Putin is likely on the agenda. U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine Bridget Brink is stepping down from her role early. She has held the position since May 2022, and her departure comes at a very sensitive time in U.S. relations with Ukraine. The State Department has confirmed her leaving, but Brink herself has yet to make a comment on the matter. It remains unknown whether Brink resigned voluntarily or was asked to step down. The commander of the Bidufik space base in Greenland has just been removed after what was described as a loss of confidence to lead. This comes after Vice President J.D. Vance made a controversial visit to the base last month. Chief Pentagon spokesperson Sean Parnell made a statement on X, saying actions to undermine the chain of command or to subvert President Trump's agenda, in this case regarding the potential annexation of Greenland, will not be tolerated at the Department of Defense. According to a press release from the Space Operations Command, Colonel Sean Lee has taken over the position. For KSTV, I'm Alex Minch.
Find the barrel, and it might be led by those two fellas.
Against the White Sox in commanding fashion. The details of Game 3 and more in your KSTV Sports Report.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
At Kent State University, student athletes from around the world find their home away from home.
My dream has always been to come to the United States and play basketball on a college level.
I'm gonna be the first graduate in my family. It's a big thing for me.
The faculty members here at Kent State are incredible.
I feel like Kent State, it has all the opportunity in the world.
Northeast Ohio is the ideal place for them to excel athletically and academically. From the moment they arrive, students are surrounded by a network of support that helps them thrive and achieve their dreams.
We are a family, so helping each other out is one of the most important things.
Straight away, I knew I had people that I could count on. As soon as I got here, between coaches, friends that I met pretty early on, I feel like this is a second home now.
This is the place. This is it.
Coach Starkey, he always asks about how you're doing.
Our coaches are so supportive. They make you better athletes, and so many of those qualities are transferable. You're going to come out of here being a successful student athlete.
Today, the world could use a little more understanding. Understanding nurtured by shared values. We come together at Kent State. Different dreams, different viewpoints, united by purpose. Preparing to make a difference in our divided world. Wherever you are in your life's journey, come learn with us. Begin at Kent State.
This is your Kent Stater TV Sports Report.
Well, it could be the greatest return to Cleveland of any athlete since LeBron James. Browns fans woke up this morning to the news that quarterback Joe Flacco will be returning to the land on a one-year, $4 million deal, as reported by Adam Schefter of ESPN. The 40-year-old veteran helped lead the Browns to their playoff berth in 2023. He went 4-1 and won Comeback Player of the Year in Cleveland. Flacco now joins Kenny Pickett in the Browns quarterback room as the Browns get ready for the draft and look to potentially add one more QB. Now,
with more sports updates, we now turn to Lexi Blatnick.
Lexi, do you think the addition of Joe Flacco means they won't draft a quarterback in the first round?
Now, Flacco has said in the past that he doesn't want to be a mentor quite yet, so nothing is for certain. But there is one thing we know, though, and that is Kent State athletics. Kent State track and field went down to North Carolina to compete at the Duke Invitational yesterday, and they continue the meet today. In this competition, the Flashes will take on multiple nationally ranked teams, and they will have 3 competitors of their own who are ranked in the top 50. The meet will conclude on Saturday evening, and you can catch the action on the ACC network. After defeating the Buckeyes on Wednesday, the Flashes traveled down south to Oxford for their weekend series against Miami, Ohio. The Flashes entered this one with a 12-game win streak, and they would lose this one by a final score of 5-4. Miami would jump ahead early, scoring all 5 runs in the first inning. Kent State would try to put up runs on the board throughout the game, but ultimately failed the comeback in later innings. The Cleveland Cavaliers lost a close game to the Indiana Pacers last night with a final score of 112-114. The Pacers were favored to win by 9 points in this, but the Cavs did play above expectations despite missing 4 out of their 5 players. DeAndre Hunter and Ty Jerome carried the load for the Cavs, combining for 47 points on the night. Next up for the Cavs is a trip to Madison Square Garden to take on the Knicks. And right across the street of Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, we are in the corner of Carnegie and Ontario. Williams starts the game off by walking thighs on a crazy pitch, and he scrambles over to the White Sox, and Kyle Manzardo hits a 395-feet homer off Nick Cannon. Fans scramble to catch the ball as Stephen Kwan and the Man's Dog score. In a couple innings after there's a runner on second, Kwan's up to bat. He carries the line over the yellow wall. This runs the score up 4-1 Cleveland. And you'll see Kwan quite a bit in this highlight. Cannon throws a single to number 38 stomping ground. John Kenzie Noel scores. Now the bases are loaded. Now, Kwan can't steal all the glory, so we're taking it to Gavin Williams. It's a 3-2 pitch, and Williams throws a beautiful 4-seam to strike Matt Faze. Williams ended the night with 7 strikes. Now, it's back to the Stephen Kwan masterclass in the bottom of the 6th. Kwan bunts and runs to first, and Bo Naylor slides home to home plate. Now, Kwan did have himself a night as he made 4 RBIs and 1 homer. And the Guards are back in action right now as they take on the Kansas City Royals at Progressive Field. For this weekend's sports updates, tune into Sports Corner on Monday. I'm Lexi Blatnick, KSTV Sports.
Thank you, Lexi. While Joe and I only got accepted into a few colleges, hear about this guy who got accepted into not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, certainly not 7, but all 8 Ivy League schools.
Like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Can you consent with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now. No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. Planting seeds of inspiration to motivate some magic. To change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall. And make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the first little thing that helps to change a life.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
The solo stage where the player spends most of it being hunted down by Infinite. The weapon that performed the best here was the Drill Wispen. Its ability to...
He finally is like, I get it now. I get it. I have worth because I'm me. And I really liked it a lot. Like, I'm not...
What are you staring at? How do you know it's me? No.
News has quickly spread that Capozzi
An
would
extra
be holding the challenge
incentive
after doing the
when it comes to taking their ACT. Oregon City School Superintendent PJ Capozzi will be taking it with them. The superintendent will also be doing it handicapped by not using a calculator on the math section of the standardized test. The incentive students get, if anyone gets a higher score than him, he will take them out to lunch.
And as much as getting accepted to college is a big accomplishment, getting accepted into 8 Ivy League schools is a bigger one. Houston teen Thin Pham told reporters where he wanted to study in the fall, and it was no short of surprising. He said he would attend MIT even after all the other schools he was accepted into. MIT is known as the top program for computer science and engineering, his preferred area of study.
Evan, real quickly, I have to ask you, do you think you could beat our superintendent in an ACT competition?
You know, Joe, the way he's got his glasses and the way he combs his hair over, he looks like a smart dude.
Sure.
And I don't think so.
I don't think I could have beat him either. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. For updates on all these stories and more, visit KentStater.com. I'm Joe Malbin.
And I'm Evan Schofield. Have a great night, Portage County.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzing overshared again?
Yeah.
I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. I have a mentor, and she convinced me to continue my education. No one receives a diploma alone. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Good morning. Hope you all had a good weekend and are ready to be inspired. One quick thing I want to remind you guys to be studying.
Major key alert. Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Class, today we're talking about inspirational quotes.
You want to get that paper? You better turn in that paper and get an A+. That's a major key. Another one. Mogul talk. You want to reach the mountaintop? You got to go hard. To succeed, you have to believe. Stay focused. Fly higher than the eagle. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote from recent history?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.